So, the name of this video is The Science of Breath, and we're also going to deal with some stretching, and we're going to deal with um, a little bit of meditation. I got my notes today. Last time I felt I was a little unorganized. I was freestyling a little too much. I want to get some more efficient information in a shorter amount of time. So I got my list here. So we're gonna deal with some breathing, some stretching, some meditation stuff, some diet stuff. Commonly known as yoga. Yoga is just a fancy way of saying stretching and breathing. Yoga actually means union, because it was a manner going ancient practice going very far back to ancient Nile civilizations that used the stretching and breathing techniques and the different postures to bring union to the mind, body, and soul. So that's what yoga means. Yoga means union, and that's what, in effect, that's what you're doing. Through the breathing techniques, matching with the stretching techniques, you're actually connecting your mind, body, and soul through one intent to do a certain specific activity, whatever it is, whether it's to heal yourself, whether it's to gain flexibility, to gain strength, to dispel some kind of negative energy. Whatever the intent is, the breathing and the stretching together, the yoga helps to fuse the intent between the mind, body, and soul, which is a powerful manifestation tool. Fusing the intent between the mind, body, and soul, powerful manifestation tool. Okay, so this what is really based on, what most of the stuff that I'm going over is based on this book called The Science of Breath. I read it maybe a few years ago. It's by a man. I'm not even really sure if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, like Yogi Ramachandra or something like that. I'm gonna put a link to it in the video description or whatever. I wish I had a physical copy to show you, but I don't have one. A very, good friend of mine in Chicago has it right now, and I don't think I'm ever getting it back. But you can read it online, Google Books. Google Books is what you want. Type in The Science of Breath, Google Books, and you can get a PDF file. 99 pages. And the reason I keep referencing it's not the first book to talk about breathing. It's not the last book to talk about breathing. But it brings the entire spectrum of breathing. When I say the entire spectrum, I mean the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual levels of breathing. It brings all that together in a very concise manner. So you don't have to go reading, volumes and volumes on breathing, which you could do, and which they do have. There is a whole library just on breathing that people have written because it's so important. But you don't have to do that. You can just read Science of Breath, 99 pages. Whoop, short. Okay, or even better, just watch this video. Hopefully I'm keeping under 15 minutes this time. Well, we already off to a bad start, but we're going to get it popping. All right. So, a few things I want to say. First of all, of course, fact check everything I say. Please. You should just do that anyway. Fact check everything. Double check everything I'm saying. And learn about it for yourself, because you may have a different interpretation of what I have. Also, customize everything. We're going to be going over a lot of different techniques, a lot of different principles dealing with breathing and stretching and meditation. And you don't have to do it exactly like I do it, because I don't do it exactly like the person that taught me about it does it. I put a little variant on it that I felt more comfortable with. And you should do the same. It's the principle that's important, that you insert certain principles into your techniques. And as long as the principle is constant, you can move the other outside variables around to fit yourself, and it'll actually benefit you. In other words, it'll be more beneficial for you to do it in a way that you're comfortable with than it would be for you to try to copy someone else. So definitely everything, take the principle along, but customize it. Also, I did want to make sure that that people were aware that this is going to be a series of videos. The first one dealt with health. on a very general level. This one's going to deal with stretching, breathing, a little bit with meditation, not so much with meditation, more about it's going to be about stretching and the breathing. We're going to do one on meditation, perhaps into the spiritual stuff, perhaps, but very, very soon, the economic video that we gotta talk about. We gotta get some stuff with that together. So there's a lot of different videos coming down the line, but like I stated in the Health is Wealth video, if you do not have your physical vessel in order, if you do not have your house in order, you can't even do anything else. So let's get that in order first. And on that, let's also talk about how this relates to diet, because I know what y'all thinking. See, I'm not 6 minutes in and I ain't even said nothing about breath yet. But see, it's about context, right? It's not just about breathing. It's about the context that breathing exists in, right? So, it helped me understand it better, and I think it helps other people understand it better if they understand kind of where I'm coming from. So diet, in relation to diet, the breathing will help you by itself. The stretching will help you by itself. You just add that into your daily routine. It will help you without doing anything else. But you will see more benefits to what you're doing if you can make positive changes in your diet as well. And what do we talk about? I'm not going to go into the whole Health is Wealth thing, but in that video, we just basically talked about everything in moderation. Everything in moderation, especially meat and sugar in moderation. I'm not going to say cut it all the way out because it's very difficult to cut that stuff all the way out. But in moderation, definitely. Make sure you drink plenty of water. Make sure you're doing plenty of breathing and stretching. And then also, as far as the diet is concerned, mix up your fruits and vegetables. Make sure you're getting fruits and vegetables, and make sure you're getting them away in whatever way works for you. Whether it's a fruit juicer, whether you eat a regular fruit, whether you eat a plate full of broccoli, or whether you do a vegetable powder, whether you do a capsule, even though I wouldn't recommend the capsule, but like a powder in a drink is a little bit better than a capsule, because the capsule has the little plastic thing that melts in your stomach and all that. But no, the point of that was, see, 7:45, man, come on, let's get it together. All right, so the point of that is that the breathing techniques will help you on their own, the stretching techniques will help you on their own, but combined with, if you improve your diet, it will help you. It's synergy. So the more positive things you do for your body, the more positive things you get back. So if you can regulate that diet just a little bit more and combine it with this breathing and stretching stuff, all this stuff will start to come together. That's basically what I'm saying. Okay, so we are dealing with everything that deals with the breath. Everything when you deal with the breath is going to correspond to different levels of your being. And what I mean by that is breathing is going to have an effect on you mentally. It's going to have an effect on your thoughts. It's going to have an effect on your emotions. It's going to have an effect on your physical body and your physical body. And it's going to have an effect on you spiritually. Now, if you don't really get into the spiritual stuff, then you don't even have to pay attention to the spiritual stuff. The spiritual stuff is not even really going to be the focus of this video. But yeah, I'll probably touch on a couple different things. But if that's not something you subscribe to, then you definitely don't have to subscribe to that. But it's important to still understand what's happening to your body on all these different levels when you're breathing and breathing correctly. All right, so almost 10 minutes in, and we're finally getting to the breath. But see, that's the context. That's front loading the knowledge base, so that now when the knowledge comes in right behind it, it has a path to go down that it will lock into your brain. That's Ramon right there. That's Ramon. That's learning about teaching styles and learning styles right there. All right, so we front loaded the knowledge base. Now we're going to get into the knowledge. Breathing, the importance and the purpose of breath. Okay, so the importance of breath is, I don't even have to tell you how important breathing is, because you know how important breathing is, and it's demonstrated by the fact that if you stop breathing for 2 minutes, you will be dead. I don't even keeping it simple. Keeping it simple. Breathing, you do it so often, that should let you know how critical it is to your survival. And the purpose of it, okay, so what you're doing, the purpose of it is you're literally pulling energy out of the air around you. You're pulling energy to your body needs energy in it circulating in order to function. It needs that. And so it needs, it's like you think about it like a battery. You can think about it like a battery. You gotta charge a battery. You gotta kind of charge your body. That's kind of like what you do when you go to sleep. If you just went 24 hours straight, you'd fry your physical vessel. You'd fry your material flesh. So the purpose of the breath, that's more on a that's more on a different kind of level. But physically, what the breath does is you're inhaling oxygen, you're exhaling carbon dioxide, which is essentially you're inhaling oxygen so that the oxygen will oxygenate your blood, and then the oxygenated blood travels throughout the body, cleans out the waste, and deposits the nutrients into the cells. That's what the oxygenated blood does. So by the time it comes back around, it's full of waste. But the reason you exhale the carbon dioxide is because that is one of the ways that you get rid of the things that your body doesn't need. You know, you have your three basic states of matter: solid, liquid, gas. And you know how you get rid of the liquids. You know what I'm saying? You can get rid of the liquids through your urination or maybe even through throwing up. You know how you get rid of your solids. And you know how you get rid of your gases. You get rid of your gases through your breathing mostly. And you can get rid of some of that stuff through the pores of your skin, some of the liquid and some of the gases through the pores in your skin. But long story short is that breathing is one of the ways that the waste is expelled from your body. So so now some of the reasons why it's important to take deep breaths are starting to become clear. Because one, the deeper the breath you take, the more energy you're pulling out of the air to charge your vessel up, to charge your body up, because your body is an electromagnetic organism. Electromagnetic. You are the robot. You feel me? You just don't have a electrical outlet, but you run on electricity. All your nerves run on electricity. Your central nervous system runs on electricity. And the magnetism keeps the electricity in order. So it's the package. So in order for your electricity to run right in your body, you have to pull enough electricity out of the air in the form of energy. So that's pulling energy out of the air. And then the exhale helps you get rid of toxins and get rid of gases that you don't need and get rid of things that you don't need. So that is the long and short. But let me say something else about that, because if you take a what you'll see is most people take a shallow breath, which is just a shallow chest breath, and then that's the difference between the deep breath. You see how the difference in the levels of oxygen I'm taking in. I'm taking in more oxygen with the deep breath, which means I'm getting more oxygen for my blood, which means that the cells and the tissues in my body are getting more oxygen, which is what they need. You see what I'm saying? So your body needs the oxygen that you're pulling in, and the deeper the breath is, the more oxygen you pull in. And the deeper the breath out, the more you're getting rid of. So you see, so just on a very practical level, breathing deep is very beneficial. On a very practical level, the deeper you breathe, the more energy you can pull in. The more oxygen you can pull in, and your blood can, the oxygenated blood can help do the things inside your tissues that it needs to do, and it can help give more as much waste as it needs to get rid of. That's on a very practical level. So again, so let's keep going. We talked about the circulation of energy. We're going to get into some stretching. Okay, so we're going to get into some stretching. So the stretching is based on the other notion, the circulation of energy as well. And your blood, just like your